We recently placed 22 eggs in our Nurture Right 360 incubator, and of course, that meant that we had to candle them. As a fun project, I decided to candle one of the eggs every day for 17 days to see each stage of embryonic development. I found it incredible to see how fast they grow each day, and hopefully you will too. Just for comparison, I candled an egg on day 1, and of course, you won't see any development yet. The orange blob moving around in there is the yolk, which is the chick's source of energy during development. On day 2, you can begin to see that the yolk is a little darker. The chick has just started developing at this stage, so you probably won't be able to see much. You might be able to see slight blood vessel growth, but you can see it more clearly on day 3. Day 3 is when things start to get exciting because you can see the chick's heart beating. You can even see blood vessels surrounding the chick, and you may even see the chick moving. On day 4, you should be able to see a small black dot. This is the chick's eye. You should also see clear blood vessel development, and if the chick is awake, you might be able to catch it moving. By day 4, you should be able to tell if the egg is fertile or not. Usually I wait a little closer to day 6, but that is just because I'm in self-denial. On day 5, you should notice that the dark blob is a lot bigger. This dark blob is not the chick. If you see the black dot you saw on day 4, that is the chick. At this stage, chicks are very unproportionate to our standards, and their eye makes up the majority of their body. The dark blob that you are seeing is the blood vessels and yolk. The blood vessels are expanding, pushing the yolk away as it takes energy and nutrients from the yolk to maintain homeostasis or to care for the chick inside the egg. On day 6, the blood vessels continue to grow larger and longer as the chick grows as well. If you look closely, you may be able to differentiate the chick's head from its neck, body, and feet. Since the blood vessels should continue to expand, the yolk will grow larger as it is pushed further throughout the egg. By day 7, the blood vessels should be seen throughout most of the egg. If you couldn't differentiate the head, neck, body, and feet on day 6, it might be a little more obvious on day 7, although it is still difficult. You may notice by now that the air cell is getting bigger every day. This is because as the egg ages, it fills with air. This is why old eggs float in water and new ones do not. The air cell will come in handy soon when the chick is closer to hatching. On day 8, you should continue to see the blood vessels and chick grow. Even though you can't see it by candling the egg, the chick's feather shafts are starting to develop now. By day 9, the blood vessels should be incredibly obvious. The chick's feathers have really started to develop now, even though they aren't easily visible. Of course, the feathers cannot be seen by candling the egg, which just shows how much is developing behind the scenes. The air cell should be noticeably larger by day 9. On day 10, it should be much easier to tell where the chick's head and feet are. The blood vessels in chick should be growing as well. This is also the stage where the chick's beak and egg tooth should harden, and the fluffy down feathers should appear. I have to confess, on day 11, I switched to a different egg temporarily. Even though it's a different egg, it's still at the same stage in development. Many more blood vessels should be visible, and the chick should continue to grow larger. The air cell should also be larger, and the chick, yolk, and blood vessels should take up most of the space inside the egg. By day 12, the chick should be much larger. The chick should take up a lot of the space in the egg at this stage. This is also the stage where the chick's bones calcify or harden while they grow down feathers on their neck. The thighs and wings also begin to develop, and you may even be able to see this by candling, although it is very difficult. As usual, on day 13, the chick grows larger and the blood vessels become more prominent. Once again, even though you can't see this by candling the egg, the chick's comb and wattle start to develop, as well as the scales on their feet and legs. By day 14, the chick should take up a lot of the space inside the egg. The blood vessels should be thicker, and the air cell should also be larger. If the chick is awake, you may be able to see it move, which will allow you to better see its beak and feet. Since the chick is growing larger, its body starts to become more proportionate and chick-like. It starts to get very exciting at this stage, since the chick is only 1 week away from hatching. From day 15 and onward, it becomes more difficult to see the details since the chick is starting to get into hatching position, with its head under its right wings, with its beak pointing toward the air cell. At this stage, the chick is growing at a very fast rate to get ready to hatch. The air cell should appear very large by now. Like day 15, on day 16, you really can't see much since the chick takes up so much room inside the egg. You might be able to see blood vessels, which you will notice are much larger now. On day 17, the chick takes up so much room that you really can't see anything, which is good since you can't candle the egg anymore anyway. From day 18 to day 21, the eggs go into lockdown, which means that the humidity in the incubator should be increased and the eggs should not be turned anymore. Now the chicks are getting ready to hatch. If your chicks are anxious to leave egg prison, you might start seeing pips on day 19. A pip is the first hole a chick makes when it is trying to break out of its shell. It is much more likely to start seeing pips on day 20 or even day 21. On day 21, the chicks should start hatching. If you are planning on incubating eggs, keep track of the time of day you put them in. I put mine in the incubator in the afternoon, and 21 days later, the majority of the eggs hatched in the afternoon, which shows you how crucial each hour is to their development. From this batch of 22, only 19 of which were fertile, I had 1 pip on day 19, and 4 chicks hatch in the late afternoon on day 20 and 2 more in the evening, as well as a lot more pips. On day 21, 8 more chicks hatched in the afternoon, 1 in the evening. The last chick had so much trouble breaking from its shell, we had to peel away the shell and help him out a little bit, but he's fine. In conclusion, watching the development of chicks inside their eggs for 21 days is very educational. It only took 21 days for an entire chick to develop with feathers, a voice, a brain, heart, and everything it needs to survive.